So today on Game Industry Talk, we've got two things to talk about. One good and one bad. So we'll start with the bad, first of all. So if you know about PT, if you remember what I said, PT was on PC, a fan remake from the ground up, and it's recently been removed. As you can see here, he says, I got a phone call that I was expecting around PM from someone who worked at Konami. He basically told me that he was very sorry for being the bearer of bad news, but I would have to take my remake down. This guy, he said he's only got a couple hours or so, like 50 with the engine, whatever it was built with Unity or Unreal, I'm not sure. But, and he says there were short-term benefits, which would be some merch. He seems really keen over that, working, apparently, as he says, over 180 hours working on this. Jokingly. Some Konami games, however, the long-term benefit, he says it was good, but it's an internship, so it's a job. And while I think it's pretty good that he got a job with Konami, so, from what I know of Konami, that isn't probably the best thing, but, a job's a job. If he likes it, if it's not as bad as how I heard Hideo Kojima treated, then that's not really good news. But to get on to the good news, some freedom of speeches came up from this senator. I'll just call him David because I can't pronounce that last name. Finally says some words of wisdom here. So just to quote him here, this hurts those Australians who would choose to read, watch, play, or listen to censored material. It also does nothing for Australians who have a clear understanding. If this censorship was not present, we cannot not read, watch, play, or listen to materials. Free speech involves no obligation to listen to them. One of the 3 feet are free speech bills, because I don't know what the other 2 are. I recently introduced in the scheduled weeks is to remove the ban on publications, films, computer games on the grounds that they offend against standards of morality, decency, and propriety. The difference might be clearer with an example. 1988 film Rambo 3 is a machine with fighting the Russians. Under the existing law with its broad criteria, this could now be interpreted as advocating terrorism. And I completely agree with this. He's very on with those judgments. Bill gets passed at this rate, honestly. But he continues and says, finally, my bill would remove censorship based on the assumption that as electors we are too stupid or weak-minded to receive electoral material on the processing Thursday or Friday ahead of an election. The spenders behind my bill is clear. If you don't want to read a particular book, then don't. If you don't want to watch a particular film, then don't. And if you don't want to play a particular computer game, then don't. But let's respect the fact that others may have different views. And I just love that. I really hope this goes through. Good news. I hate censorship, so I really hope this works out for us. Also, if you want to check out the dev that made Silent Hill PT, he's got a YouTube here. I think you guys should check it out if it's good enough. I haven't checked it out myself, so I can't really say how good it is or how bad it is, but just give him some love.